did it, or I'd even like pretend I was sick, and going through my career, I would really get severely nervous having to speak in front of people. And you're absolutely right that by facing that fear, and I had really no idea 10 years ago that I would be a professional speaker, and I would be training executives on how to present and how to be confident. I mean, I could not have imagined that 10 years ago. So I think what you're saying there, you've really hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what's happened to me. And I've also said that to people when people are looking for material for their maybe for their speeches. They're looking for what's my uniqueness, how can I find my speaking voice. And I've often said, well think about the things that you're afraid of, and see if you can try and face those fears, and do it anyway. And by kind of going through that experience for a while, people often learn things about themselves that they really never knew. So I think that's a great insight, Steve, and I think there's some wisdom in that for sure.
Yeah, thank you. I actually identify with it very easily myself, because it's what happened to me. It's kind of ironic that you're in China right now, because I grew up in a communist country, in Hungary.
Oh,
and
wow.
I wasn't able to speak my mind. And boy, did I have my opinions about freedom. But I was shut down. I couldn't speak. And so speaking, they actually scared the heck out of me. So speaking in front of public has terrified me, just like it is terrifying probably most of the people on the planet. I heard statistics, I'm sure you heard them, that people are more afraid of speaking in public than death itself.
That's right. So they'd rather be in the box than speaking at the funeral, right?
Yes. So here I am, Coach Steve. For 4 years, I've been building this network because I believe in walking the talk. I finally mastered my biggest weakness, and I'm not able to speak in front of anybody, including the President of the United States. It doesn't matter who they are or how many are there, because that's not what I focus on. And and I'm noticing how afraid people are to call into the shows, to share their opinions. My goodness, there is nothing more important than I can think of than to be able to communicate and share ourselves with the people we love or the people that we don't even know. What do you think about that?
I think you're absolutely right, Steve. And the funny thing is, the more we use technology, I think the more important this skill becomes. I mean, if you think back to a few years ago, people were getting into, the internet and mobile phones and emailing, and it's true that we do tend to email and text message a lot more than we did, 5 years ago. But I think you're right. In fact, the communication, the ability to communicate, one-on-one to somebody or to a small group or, to a large group, that seems, from my observation, to be even more important. And I think the reason why it's so important is it's not really taught in schools. I mean, even I've noticed that, especially in China, which there might even still be some similarities in terms of the educational system here, where people are taught, they really have to process a lot of information, a lot of memorization. There's really not that much opportunity for children, to self-express when they're growing up. And, if I think back to the UK, like nowadays it's probably a little bit more progressive, that people can, they are encouraged to speak their minds a little bit. When I was growing up, we never took, a public speaking class. I mean, there was the debating society, but if you weren't interested in that, and then you never went and you never did it. So really, there's very few opportunities, if you look at education around the world, to really stand up and to speak in front of people. And I think you're absolutely right that skill is, probably more important than it was a few years ago. So, there you are, you're kind of sitting in the radio studio, but through your ability to communicate, you can reach, millions of people all around the world. And there's something powerful about that.